Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm here with Flowgli. He's just released his newest single, Only Fangs, and I can't wait to hear all about it. How are you doing today, man? Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Austin. I'm good. Um, like I said, I'm autistic. It is very important for me to say that, not just because I've had a tough day, but I want to be very open about that from the get-go.
Absolutely.
You know, like it's a central theme in everything I'm doing. Um, you know, to make it clear that I'm autistic and I have ADD, and there's
Totally.
certain yeah, they're very compelling reasons for that.
hmm
Um, So yeah, but I'm good.
I'm
I'm
happy
very.
to hear it. Where
I just want
where
to.
are you in the world? Oh,
I just want to quickly say, like,
yeah.
in the short time that I've been releasing and like trying to build whatever platform via Instagram predominantly, the amount of fake shit that I have, fake services that I have encountered on a daily basis, it was really wearing me down, and I'm just really grateful to have found
Oh man.
genuine people. Yeah, genuine people like yourself. I was losing faith, man, if I'm honest. Like, I was just seriously, like, I was like, is anybody genuinely out there to help people like us?
Damn.
So
Actually, you know what? I'd love to hear more about that because I see like comments on posts like promote on this page or promote on this page. Like, what do you mean by fake services?
basically, I mean, I've written a lot about this, Austin. I'm
hmm
going to release a lot of stuff about this.
Yeah.
um it, Essentially, like, Instagram. Now, if you're not particularly clued up on the nature of the application and the platform,
hmm
um, and how the ease at which people can set up fake pages, fake accounts, and create fake traffic.
Very easy.
um, Very easily done. It's very easily done. And superficially, if you don't know what to look at and where to look, everything can look great. You'll have a page with all these followers, and you'll see these posts with all these views and likes and comments,
hmm
and you'd be, as a creator or an artist, you might think, oh great, this might, this might have some value for me. um and these guys will be in your DMs constantly.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who's fallen a prey to, like,
No, absolutely
uh
not. Because if it's you, it's got to be thousands of others. You
yeah,
know,
and it's not okay.
it's not
It's just
okay.
not. No.
I feel yeah. No, I get that. I see it and I've heard that all the time. And I think just with Instagram nowadays, just with like how difficult it is to get reach on posts and engagement and like this, constantly changing algorithm as to what people see. You know what I mean? It's just it's never been more difficult as a smaller page to get eyes on your music or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna go too much into that now, but like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go to town on that, like, in the songs and in the
totally.
writing. Like,
Absolutely.
listen, the long and short of it is that Instagram is essentially, for a new creator, a new artist, it's as good as dead. It
You're
really
right.
is. And I mean, that's why people kind of like that. That's why there's a gray, to call it a gray market would be generous. It's a black market, basically, that's cropped up, people offering fake services.
Yeah,
And out of desperation, a lot of us artists will also, be um seduced by that, you know
totally.
um
Well,
so
yeah.
anyway, but yeah.
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be a real person on the end who's gonna do my best to promote your music. So
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
spread the word.
Will
but
do. Absolutely.
yeah, I want to hop into the single here, Only Fangs. And
Mm,
to start, this song goes super hard lyrically, and within its production, it goes pretty hard as well. So would you
thanks.
mind sort of breaking down the message of it all and what it's all about?
Yeah, sure. I've kind of forgotten the song because
That's all
I
right.
really no, I released it like a month ago. You see, like,
Yeah,
when we're done with a song, there's so much repetition involved. It's almost like, just go away.
of
Like,
course.
it's like it ceases to exist. So, or certainly for me anyway. Um, But I remember when I wrote it, there was it's look, I'm very honest with my medium. You know, it's the one place where I feel like I can say whatever I want or
Yeah, you
close to
can
that.
be you. It's your music.
Right. Exactly. And I mean, I was burning out pretty badly, you know, trying to get involved in all this Instagram bullshit. Sorry, pardon my French.
Yeah, it's
Um,
okay. You can say whatever you want here.
I'll try not to swear, man. Um,
It's cool.
and you know, I was getting very frustrated. And the other thing about um, so and more for especially for me as an autistic person, communication in general is very difficult. Engaging in these kind of apps is extremely difficult. It's very taxing on the brain if
Yeah.
you have a condition like autism or ADD. Uh, and I was getting incredibly frustrated. Um, and if I'm honest, I was throwing my toys out the pram a little bit. You know, if
Hmm.
I'm honest, I was just like, well, um, you know, is anyone actually listening to this?
Right.
You know,
I get
like,
it. I get it.
yeah, and I'm just trying to remember the bars, man. Like,
It's all right.
it was pretty I mean, I have quite an aggressive style.
Hmm.
You know, like,
But it
uh
seems very genuine at the same time. It feels like you're taking out whatever frustrations you have in a creative way, which is probably the best way to do that, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm also okay, yeah, I was talking about like um I have this cool like idea or concept, right? For like a
Hmm.
character. I call him Han or Hans.
Okay.
Uh yeah. Do you remember that scene from Die Hard?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah. Of
his name was
course.
Hans, right?
Hmm.
And uh it's like if you combine a fan and a hater, you have a Han. All right.
Okay, okay, I
And
get you.
so like as an artist you start releasing this stuff and then you know you start getting feedback and listen, I just want to say you know when you find one real human being who
Right.
uh is moved by what you're doing, it makes it all worth it, right?
Exactly.
I want to qualify that, you know, because I want it's very important for me to say that that is not lost on me. I feel that 100% and very intensely, but in the same breath, you know, you get a lot of feedback coming from all sorts of places.
Yeah.
And you know, I've had people saying, you know, trying to be nice, saying very kind things, but they've
Hmm.
not listened to the stuff, and that really angered me
Well,
because
yeah,
that, yeah, you know, that does not help me as an artist in what I'm doing. It doesn't give me anything of value,
true.
right? And on the other side of that coin, you know, you get people who throw all kinds of nasty comments and, you know, haters out there.
Oh, yeah.
um you know, and but like at least they're being honest. Right,
True. Well, it
right.
depends. They could just be straight up and mean. Rather, there's a difference between that and like constructive criticism that's like, hey, I enjoyed what you did here, but I'd like it if you
Yeah,
change. Exactly. So there's
sure.
definitely a
And
difference than like you suck rather than like this was great, but change up this thing.
yeah, sure, absolutely. I mean, I to be honest, I am very selective now with where I get feed. You know, if I ask for feedback, it'll be from very specific people,
Yeah.
usually other artists.
Oh,
um
there you go. Who can actually
yeah,
like listen and yeah, I get that.
yeah, you know, because the empathy is there. But so I mean, one of the things I talked about in the song was just kind of how like a fan and a hater is just the opposite side of pretty much the same coin. I
Right.
mean, that was just how I was feeling at the time, you know, when I
Sure.
was just like um yeah. So and yeah, other stuff I was kind of like, I'm quite selective now with who I have around me, both IRL in real life and
Yeah.
also like through connections via this. Another reason why I'm grateful for yourself,
Thank you.
because you're, yeah, you know, and sorry, I lost my train of thought, man.
That's all right. I think what you're trying to say is like the people that you want to listen to your music are selective in a way, but because you want genuine feedback in the end. You don't want someone just saying this is good or this is bad. You want them to actually go into it and tell you why.
Yeah, well, I mean, Austin, dude, the thing is, at some point, um, as an artist, you got to accept that promotion and marketing is a necessary evil.
Of
If you
course.
want, if you want to have your stuff out there, if you want your stuff to find your real audience,
Sure.
like, the people you really want to hear this stuff because you feel, right in your gut that this could help them
Yeah.
and this could be their stuff, right? You have to go through that marketing stuff.
Hmm.
And part of that is you don't necessarily know who's gonna fuck with your stuff and who isn't. You can't control that. That's not in our hands. That we're
True.
powerless over that. But insofar as when you're at the stage of releasing for the first time and getting feedback, there's a lot of, it's like an information dump, man. There's a lot to process. There's a lot
Right.
for the artist to process. And I guess when I was writing this, I was just flushing out those feelings,
Hmm.
just using lyricism. Like that's kind of just what I do, right? So um yeah, and then later on in the song, I mean, it's a positive song as well, like later on,
Of course. Of course.
I say, like, these are the kind of people that I hope will find it, because you know um kids who've been bullied, kids who don't fit in, my former self, basically, like,
Yeah.
my inner teenager, if you like. Like, kids like that might be very lonely. I know they're very lonely, especially in certain parts of the world. There's certain parts of the world where being different is almost a death sentence. And that may sound a little melodramatic, but
No.
I know people who have been bullied to the point of taking their lives or attempting to take their lives because they're different.
Right.
Like LA is the more liberal parts of the world are more accepting of this kind of thing. I live in Stockholm, by the way.
Right.
It's a very, very liberal, accepting place. But a lot of the world is not like that,
Yeah.
and I talk,
Oh,
and
seems like a
yeah, and
majority.
the majority, absolutely, sadly.
Hmm.
And later on in the song, I think in the third verse, I talk about, like, this is for you, and I hope it finds you, you
Right.
know. And just something on the title, Only Fangs. Um, yeah, you probably figure out it's just a little wordplay on OnlyFans.
Of course.
Um,
But it's great and it's original and it actually like fits the vibe of the song. So it was a
yeah,
good title
thank
choice
you.
for sure.
I just want to quickly share something with you on that, like,
Please.
before you move us on. Um, so the vampire thing,
Right,
right?
right, right. Yeah, please
uh,
lay into that.
yeah, yeah. I just want to, because I get people DMing me like, "Are you a real vampire? Like, do you live off blood?
Oh
Do you
geez.
worship the dead? Do you
People never
worship
heard
the
of
dead?"
like a persona. Like yeah.
Oh man. Basically, um, I don't know if you've heard of the author Anne Rice. She's phenomenal.
I have
Uh,
not heard of her actually.
the movie, Interview with a Vampire, with Tom Cruise and
Oh, I
Brad
think I
Pitt.
saw that when I was like a lot younger. But I remember it being
Yeah,
a great movie.
it's an OG movie now.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
right.
it was a classic, and she wrote the novels that directly inspired that. She wrote the novel Interview with a Vampire, but
Got it.
her vampiric conception, when I was reading this, is so similar or paralleled to the
Mhm.
autistic experience in a number of
Oh,
ways. I almost kind of, like, to myself, I was even wondering, I mean, like, are these vampires, are they based on, potentially autistic people that this author knew in real life? That's how similar the parallels were.
yeah.
Things like, we have I do, most of us do have extreme sensitivity to things like light.
Hmm.
I can't go out in summer now. I'm fucked, man. Like, I
Damn.
have to wear sunglasses. Yeah, it's too much. Light's too much for me. I don't have the lights on in my room,
Oh wow.
right? Yeah. And we tend to be night owls. We tend to be more active at night.
Yeah.
um the loneliness, we tend to be very lonely people because our brains are not wired for social interaction the way that a neurotypical brain is.
Sure.
We need to have more time by ourselves, and it does get extremely isolating. um
So did you
you know
choose this vampire persona because of that relation, or did it just happen out of circumstance?
Well, it kind of makes sense. I've always liked vampires, dude, like
Sure.
ever since I was a kid. And it
Okay.
kind of makes sense when I got my diagnosis and I started learning about this condition.
Yeah.
Um, it kind of made sense to me. It was one of those, a number of things that started to make sense as to why I gravitate towards certain things.
Got it.
And so, yeah, I mean, I dig vampires, and it fits very nicely with, this kind of dark anti-hero persona that I write from.
Right.
And there's also like there's a Jungle Book influence because I'm of Indian
Yeah.
origin. And so I kind of like, when I started writing this stuff, I was like, well, what does Mowgli look like as an adult? There's nothing like that in
Oh, that
popular
makes
culture.
sense.
Yeah, and because like
Yeah, yeah,
um I strongly identify with that character.
yeah.
um and I don't really like the whole Disney kind of, he's a friendly little boy playing with animals. He was raised by wolves, man. I mean,
Right.
can you imagine like an adult what would someone who was raised by wolves and then a panther and a bear look like as an adult, coming back to society? So it just, those kind of things, I just play around with those things because it fits very nicely with what I'm trying to do. So
Mm. Dang, I love that, man. That's honestly like a beautiful background on your story and you as a person and how it kind of wraps up your music. Like it was all almost like a meant to be situation, you know?
oh, thanks, man. That's really kind of you to say that.
Really
I
enjoy
mean,
that.
it just felt really nice, man. When
Yeah,
these things started to hit me, I just was sitting there with my pad and just smiling. It was
that's
like,
awesome. I mean,
it's
yeah,
fun. It's
for so
fun.
many people they use music as an outlet either because they're bored or they find joy in it, but it seems like this outlet for music for you is just like you need it, like you need it to function, you need it to like just
Um,
get it all out there. So I'm proud to be talking to you and like to even
Thank you.
hear like the story behind it because it's a perspective that I don't have.
Thank you so much for saying that. You have no idea how much that means to me because it's validating,
Right.
right? Now, one of the most common thing, one of the main struggles we have, I'll use the luxury of using the word we as an autist. I shouldn't really
Mm-hmm.
do that, but I'm pretty damn sure a lot of us, if not the majority, will attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, day-to-day life is invalidating. Most
Yeah.
people, we're in an age now of like autism awareness. A lot of great people doing a lot of great things, spreading that. I'm not claiming to be like, directly someone
Yeah.
who's promoting autism awareness, maybe vicariously, but um, on a daily basis, interactions with perfectly well-meaning people oftentimes is invalidating,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they simply do not understand. They don't know how we process our emotions, how we process, the world at large. So for you to say something like that, which is absolutely true, this is a need, right? It's also an involuntary one,
Sure.
right? It's not something I actually try to do. Um, like in terms of there's like it's like a loop that's constantly going in the head. The rhythm's constantly going, and their words being chopped up to those rhythms. It's an involuntary process. I don't try to do that.
Right.
So I thank you.
You're
That's what I'm
welcome.
trying to say. Thank you.
Yeah, I gotta say, typically, like these interviews that I run with artists, they kind of go down the list of questions based on like inspirations and processes. But the way that this has gone so far has been different than anything that I've done so far. And so I'm really happy that you're opening up about it. I still obviously want to
Thanks.
know some things about you, but
Yeah, sure.
this is even like breaking the mold for me, which is
I'm glad
great
you're enjoying it.
because yeah, it's great. So I do want to know though, based on your musical style and based what you've put out, who are some of like the key artists in your life that you look up to and that sort of inspired your style?
I mean, that changes a lot, especially since I'm trying to branch out and
Sure.
experience other artists and what they have to say and how they say it.
Of course.
Um, at the moment, Mr. Kendrick Lamar is
Of course.
an idol of mine. Um,
The
you
man is
know,
a
uh,
genius.
yeah, absolutely. We don't need to say any more about that. He's a genius. And most importantly, See, Austin, the thing I'm most concerned with is artist mental, physical, and financial health.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, I really feel like that's just not been addressed ever. Maybe now it's changing.
Talk about it.
Yeah, I will. I won't shut up about it. But in passing now, I'm grateful. Like someone like him that you call a genius, which he is. He seems to be really well. You know, whenever you see him,
Sure.
he seems to be really well, and that kind of thing is really important to me. But in terms of influences, I mean, you see, I'm wearing a Lamb of God T-shirt, right?
Sure.
So, I mean, I'm as much metal as I am hip hop, probably more so in a lot of respects. Um, I was a huge Slipknot fan. I'm a huge Slipknot fan.
Sure.
Lamb of God, Metallica. From the hip hop side, I grew up with Biggie, Pac, Eminem. You know, like the
Sure.
big the OGs, and um, that's one thing that'll never leave. That the thing that got me was multisyllabic rhyme schemes. You know, with the rhythms and flows that these guys came up with, everything that emerged from particularly the East Coast, from Queens and all the boroughs in New York. You know, Nas, Big L,
Mm-hmm.
Jay-Z, Wu-Tang, all the big names. You know, these incredible pioneers who just gifted the world this. You know, I mean, that's so I grew up with that, and I'm not going to start dissing like other, you know, detours that hip hop has evolved into. I'm not going to do that. There's no
Yeah.
need to do
I
that.
could talk
You
about
know,
that, but let's not.
you please do it.
No, let's
I
not.
just, I mean, you know, but one thing I won't sacrifice is lyricism. You know, ever.
No, you can never. It can't
So
be super repetitive like a lot of the music is today and not meaningless. Like the music that you're making and the music that those legends are making has solidified them as great artists because they did do things different and they talked about the hard-hitting subjects. So, got to keep on
yeah,
that.
and I mean, it's also, I do feel out of respect, it is important for me, and perhaps, you know, I won't speak on behalf of other rap fans or hip hop fans, but certainly
Sure.
for me to have that sense of understanding that the environment from which this was created,
Hmm.
right? You know, it's like Tupac has a beautiful poem called "The Rose That Grew from Concrete." Um, you know, and really against the odds, these people just created this incredible, like this amazing art form. Um, you know, and that's not lost on me. It never will be. And now I'm going back
Right.
to like, I'm branching out again because of my autism. I just want to say it again. I'm going to keep referring to this because it's so central to like,
Okay.
it's actually a function. The music is a function of the autism in a lot of ways.
Hmm.
But one of our diagnostic criteria, sorry about that, man. One of the
That's okay.
diagnostic criteria is a repetitive, restricted and repetitive interest in behavior.
Okay.
So, I mean, that manifests in with what I listened to as a kid. I would listen to like, I listened to a lot of music across genres, but I listened to
Sure.
like probably 2 or 3 artists, maybe 4 or 5 at most, obsessively, and
Yeah.
again and again and again and again and again. And now I'm branching out, you know, like, and that's a beautiful journey in of itself,
Right.
just to go back and you know, there's a great series on Netflix, Hip Hop Evolution. You know, every artist should watch that, I think, who's interested in the genre, who is practicing the genre.
Okay.
um uh you know, and I started watching that a couple of years ago, and you know, whenever I can, I study, you know, like I try to learn, because that is a form of giving respect as well
Right.
to the people who created this. Um, so did I answer your question? Sorry, I have a bad habit of like,
It's okay.
you know, my brain kind of just fucking goes
I would
everywhere.
say that yes, you did. And sort of the next thing I wanna know here is that even stepping aside from the musical side of things for just a moment and sort of focusing on you as a person,
Mm.
have you set any goals for yourself for the rest of this year? Basically, how are you planning on continuing to better yourself through the end of 2021?
That's a good question. The first thing that came to mind was something I learned in 12 step when I was getting sober.
Hmm.
And bless him, you know, it's great. It's an advice in a nutshell, and it's a great one, and it works for everybody. And that is, keep it in the day, a day at a time,
You
right?
have to.
You have to. A lot of us, we get really caught up in like these 5-year plans and this all this stuff. And I think how many people out there would be like looking back over the last 5 years and be like, did it really pan out that way?
Oh,
You know,
there's no
uh,
possible way. You
so
can't plan that far. There's too many variables, too many crazy things can happen. So
I know, right? So, but I mean, okay, to answer your question, look, my challenge is on a day-to-day basis, my struggle is just to be able to take care of my basic needs.
yeah, yeah.
You know, that is the struggle. And if I can do that, which is a blessing, because a lot of autistic people, if not the majority, cannot do that, right?
Right.
And if you have like this Aspergian characteristic, where your talent and your interest is aligned with the characteristic of autism that is so repetitive,
Yeah.
right? And that repetition, what it does is it actually leverages, the talent and the interest,
Yeah.
right? But it's useless if you can't cope with the condition, right? I
Right.
mean, what good is, again, I've written about this. If you're interested in staying tuned, I mean, you'll hear it. You'll hear it in the music. But what good is that if you can't take care of your basic needs? Like, you're not going to be able to do that. Certainly not sustainably.
It's true. It's
So
true.
it's a fact. It's a fact. And
Yeah, man.
I'll tell you what, man, I'll say this right now. I'm going to say it on wax as well. This is not something the entertainment industry has ever wanted to be revealed.
No.
Ever.
No, they're very
It's
particular about
changing
what
now.
they want.
Yeah, it's I think it's changing now. I'm not sure, because I mean, I'm not that clued up with mainstream at the moment. I'm really enjoying being in like a little nest with a few very talented artists I found, connected with. This is the good thing about Instagram. I dissed Insta before. I do a lot of that.
Okay. And
But there are great connections out there. You got to
of course.
hang in there, and you will find great connections. But I mean, I have a feeling. I know for a fact, like historically, the market, the economics, the financial side of this, it would not have been lucrative in any way for a label to be like, here's our new super talented, potentially very good looking hot artist who is autistic.
Right. I know what you mean.
Because I mean, there's not been the understanding of what autism is has not been there, right? Most people have a very wrong, incorrect, inaccurate idea of what autism means, right? I'm not going to say the R word, but that's what I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah,
right?
It is the stereotype. Okay. You're right.
Okay, and these guys aren't going to they're not going to start pouring like millions of dollars into trying to breaking that stereotype so that their new artist can come out as an autist.
Because they know what works, and so they're going to keep sticking with what works.
But we need to talk about it so we can change it. Right. That's like, as an artist and someone like yourself, we can team up to talk about it, because otherwise, like, when change happens in the world, generally it's the discussion has to happen first, right? The discussion has to take place, and we got to keep making noise about it, and then pressure whoever into doing whatever. So I can't remember what your question was, but yeah, right. My plan, dude, is just to be able to cope, right?
Yeah.
If I can cope, then I can create this stuff, continue to create this stuff. Otherwise, it'll just be in my head,
exactly.
For as long as I'm alive. And I mean, and that was, the number of people like me who have probably had that experience. It's in here, but it doesn't come out, right?
Wow, which is why you're in such this unique situation where you're able to get it out and create.
Right. And I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And I need people like yourselves to help me with it. So it'll be fun. I mean, I'm looking forward to sending you, like, from now on. I mean, if you're interested, every release, I'll send. We might not do an interview every release because it's quite taxing on my brain.
It's okay.
But yeah, no, we'll do something every release for sure.
That's what I'm all about, is opening up to anyone who wants, their music covered. And because it is so difficult these days to get any amount of coverage, so I want to be that sort of corner of the internet that can do so.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, man.
You've restored my faith in humanity. Honestly, I
I'm
mean that.
Yeah, that
Like,
makes me very happy because that's the kind of the ultimate goal of this, because I know how much crap there is on the internet. So yeah, man, I got one more question for you that I want to hear from. And it's basically, so for the person that is going to discover your music from this, what is a message that you want to pass off to them as they kind of dive into your sound for the first time?
wow. I've never heard that question before. I've never heard it. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. Basically, the question is, what message would you like to pass off to the first time listener of your music as they watch this and then listen?
Don't try this at home. I,
Yeah, I
dude, no,
like that.
well, I mean, look, thank you for listening. I mean,
Sure.
again, that's not a platitude. That's genuine. One of my friends, Cap Creations, you check him out. He
Okay.
started releasing. He dropped the song yesterday, and I was talking to him, and I apologized to him. I said, listen, man, it's taken me like a few months to actually get to your stuff, and again, he understood because of my restrictions, and he
Right.
said, listen, it doesn't matter how long it takes. If someone hits up that track,
Yeah,
if someone presses play on that track, and these were his words, it gives the song a chance to live,
exactly. I love That's
right?
true.
So yeah, so my message would be thank you for giving this an opportunity to live. And
Hmm.
if it then speaks to you, right? Um, like I need to know if anybody out there is, and especially while I have whatever limited capacity I do to engage, which is limited, like
Sure.
on a one-to-one, I would like to know about it.
Yeah.
I get so much crap in my DMs. If someone hits me up with a genuine, I listened to this and I liked it, or it meant something to me, as I said at the top of the conversation, it'll undo all of the crap for me as an
Right.
artist, right?
Yeah.
It'll make it worth it. So, I mean, that's basically it. That's the gist of it. Thank you for giving it an opportunity to be something. And please let me know
I love that, man. I
if you
think
like
that's a
it.
great answer. And like
Yeah.
there's no right answer there, but I mean, you've convinced me. So yeah, I'm legitimately looking forward to whatever else you put out, and for everyone else out there, check out Flowgli's music. It's awesome, it's genuine, and it's real. Uh yeah, I don't really have much else to say except for thank you for just being open and honest.
No, thank you so much for your time. And I look
This has
forward
been
to us
great.
working together.
This has been great, man. I sincerely hope you have a good rest of your day, and I really look forward to speaking soon. And we will
You
talk
too, man.
soon.
Have a great time out there on the West Coast. Is it warm there now? It must be really hot now, right?
It
What's the
is
weather like?
currently 11 a.m. It looks to be pretty warm out. Might hit up the beach today. We'll see.
Be lucky.
Hey, come out here, man. You got a
Enjoy it
place to stay.
one day, maybe. Thank you so much, man. And
You're
we'll speak
welcome.
soon.
All right. Take care. Have a good night.
Peace.
See ya.